In DC, we're just hoping that you listen.
Welcome, everyone, to District Divided, a DC sports podcast. I am Amit. Joining me, my co-hosts, Matt Regan and KDot. It's good to see you both. Got two big pieces. Everyone's doing well in DC sports right now. The Wizards first place in the Eastern Conference. The Washington Capitals on fire, just obliterated the Pittsburgh Penguins 6-1 the other night. Alex Ovechkin, fourth all-time in goals scored. We're going to talk about the Washington football team beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, though. How about that? Who called that? We'll get into that. And we're also going to talk about the Washington Spirit in the NWSL Final after an insane season so far. But we first got to begin. Apparently, Matt's been talking up this sports weekend of his nonstop, but he won't tell us anything about it. So, Matt, floor is yours. What happened this weekend in sports for you?
It's not private news, and don't say I've been talking about it all the time because I just brought it up 8 minutes ago. All right, in our pre-show prep. All right, so I don't deserve to be put on blast, but we asked the pod, and the District Divided Nation, what they thought the best sports weekend was, and I think I just had it. Because let me tell you, when your teams have a perfect weekend, and I know there's maybe a slight asterisk on it because I'm from Detroit. The Detroit area, I root for Detroit teams, and yes, the Lions did not win, but we'll get to that. Let's talk about the weekend, and you have weekend games that aren't weekend makers. So you know what, my Detroit Pistons go in, they go to Toronto, and they beat the Toronto Raptors. Cade Cunningham, he's scoring in double digits now. That's a big win for us. Looking good. Still the future of the franchise, future of the league. All right, then I got my Red Wings taking the Montreal Canadiens. Dylan Larkin, shout out U of M, 2 goals. Beat the Canadians 3-2 in overtime. Those aren't weekend makers, but they're nice. They're nice to have. It's early October. My Detroit Tigers, they go and sign Eduardo Rodriguez, 5 years, $70 million. Never heard of the guy, but he's my favorite player. All right, big deal. So just building up. Those are the supplemental pieces to the weekend. Now let's get to the bread and butter. Let's talk about my Detroit Lions, and we did not lose. That's a point. All right. I don't know if there's a point system in the NFL, but it is a point. All right. And we're not going 0-17. Dan Campbell, you're not 0-16 and 0-17. You're 0-16, 0-16-1. All right. That is a win. But let's get down to really what made the weekend. I was in Mexico. Great wedding. Shout out Hari Neha. Probably not watching this, but Michigan, Penn State. And I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, host. I'm pointing at you, host Amit, because a few years ago, you had a choice. You had a choice between Michigan and Penn State to choose your fandom. And really, it wasn't between Michigan and Penn State. It was between Ollie and me. Ollie and me as who you're better friends with. And he picked Ollie. And this is what you get. You get this loser program, Penn State, with no rivalry. You have half the fan base wants James Franklin fired and half of them think he's going to leave. And all you get is this sorry-ass team that's now 6-4, can't beat anyone in the top 10. And you got Jim Harbaugh laughing his way back to Ann Arbor. We're 9-1. We had a chance to be 10-1 for the third time in 5 years. All right. And we'll see what happens against Ohio. All right. I'm taking this weekend in pride and style because I don't know what's going to happen in 2 weeks, but I'm really excited. It was a perfect weekend, and it was the best weekend in sports this last weekend. Sound off. Fuck you, Amit.
Wow. KDot, you haven't gotten a chance to say anything yet, so I'm going to give it to you. And then, Matt, I got some words there.
He gave you both barrels, man. That was something that he was holding on to. That's some hurt in his heart that he had to make sure that you knew and you felt just a little bit. I could sit here and I could talk about how mediocre Matt's goals and sights are to have a good weekend. Are like a tie game, and we're sports weekend of the year, guys. All right, it's just Detroit Red Wings win a game 2 weeks of the hockey season. Oh, it's gonna matter for playoffs, guys. Or the Tigers, they sign a Cuban baseball prospect you don't know about. Oh my God, it's such a great time. It's just goddamn Detroit's sad, man. It's so cold in the D. I just feel bad. Look, Bravo, yes, didn't lose this week. It's a low threshold. You just go through bombed out downtown Detroit. There's not a lot that you guys have to hang your hats on. So, congrats for a good weekend, bud. And hopefully things are looking up for you. Goddamn.
Okay.
Excuse
so
you.
here.
All right, you go first, Tom. I'm gonna address.
Right, because you just told.
Because I already double barreled Amit.
You
all right?
double barreled the shit out of me,
and I can double barrel you now. Right? He's gone.
Okay. Here's the thing. Me and Matt have not been on the same pod in quite some time, which I think is just it's showing. I know he's been waiting, lying in wait, just waiting to be able to just fire off at everybody. I get it.
I was just going to go at Amit. I was just going off at Amit. All of a sudden, you ricochet shots here. Ricochet shots here.
I'm on your side.
Isn't on for a month. You know, we're like, hey, looking forward to having you back on. Nothing but pleasantries.
You guys win one freaking game, and you think you can talk down to anybody in the league? You can talk down to Lions, sure, but like.
let me break down.
What's hold
on, KDot, give me a second.
Oh yeah, sorry, guys.
Let me break this down. So, your highlight was Detroit beating Toronto, which is great, and your little, note there was Kate is now scoring in double digits. Congratulations, the number 1 overall pick is now scoring in double digits. That is huge. Congratulations.
She actually went off for 25, 8, and 8 last night. Not a big deal.
Okay, well, I heard double digits. Okay. We at the top of the Eastern Conference don't really pay attention to the bottom. So, what is Detroit's record right now?
I think 3-9.
You think 3-9? Okay, great.
Holy shit, bro! Really?
That's what I'm saying. So, but listen, that's great because you're on the come up. Fantastic. Detroit Red Wings, I know you're a big hockey guy, and I'm happy for you. I think that's awesome. Your new favorite baseball player is a guy you hadn't heard of. You know the extent of the contract, but that's great. What is it? Eduardo Rodriguez, is that right?
Yeah, he was on the Sox last year. Actually pretty nasty.
Okay. I will give you the Michigan-Penn State thing. I did offer you the opportunity to buy me some Michigan gear, and if you had done that, it could have swung. Ollie and I go way back. We co-captained our high school team together. We've been friends forever. Should see some of the exchanges via Gmail we have about life, about soccer, about just everything. So it was always an uphill battle for you. You know I love you, Matt. You were just competing against a whole lot of history. And that's difficult.
You want to talk about history? Winningest program in college football. All right? That's history.
Okay. I want you guys to beat Ohio State. I think it would be awesome for Michigan to make the playoff, just to be clear. And congratulations to the Detroit Lions. That was an amazing story this week. That really was. Because I thought they were going to pull it off. The 48-yard field goal, the entire nation was rooting for that, except for the city of Pittsburgh. And it fell short.
I don't know. I don't know if Chicago or Minnesota gave us their kickers, but the one kicker, the one position that has been our thing. All right, Jason Hansen to Matt Prater, those are like Hall of Famers. Solid. I mean, we were a field goal kicking franchise, and then after that, now this year, it's Justin Tucker going from 75 yards, whatever it was, and then the Vikings hitting from 55, and now we can hit a 48-yarder to win a fucking game. It's all right. I mean, I didn't watch the game or anything, but
I knew you didn't.
I was on a flight.
I was gonna bring it up. No, but that really is huge news. The Detroit Lions are gonna find a way in a 17-game regular season to go 0-16 once again. That is awesome. That is awesome news. I actually do think they'll win one. I think Dan Campbell is a really good coach. He's a player's coach. People love him. They're fighting every single week. I think they could sneak one.
Yeah, why does everyone keep saying he's like? I like him. I think the players like him, but like that doesn't necessarily make you a good coach. I think there's a part of it.
Yeah,
like,
but it's a
he's
big
not
part.
Matt Patricia.
We'll talk
he's
about
not Matt
the
Patricia
role of the head coach.
Right.
Oh yeah. But see, the head coach oftentimes is not calling plays. It's going to be the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator that's calling the plays. His job is to make sure everyone is energized, everyone is putting in good work at practice, and making sure that they come ready to play on Sundays. But in terms of the actual play calling, a lot of times that goes to the offensive and defensive coordinators. And you can see every single week the Lions are putting in 100% effort, 110. Like they're doing what they need to do. They're just not a talented roster. And Jared Goff is clearly very, very limited. He is incredibly exposed outside of that LA Rams, setup that he had over there with McVay and those guys. He's not good. There's a reason they also traded a first-round pick to Detroit to get rid of him. It's abundantly clear.
Yeah, I was kind of a Jared Goff fan at the beginning of the year, but every highlight I watched, the guy ran the ball like. Well, so this is Dan Campbell's first week calling the plays, hence 250 rushing yards
and a tie.
And a tie.
Yeah.
It only goes up from here.
Anymore.
But But that's the thing is but that's to me it's always a big portion of being a head coach is do you get buy-in from the players or do you play hard? Because a lot of times you get a team that's just winless and they just look dejected out there on the field and they're not trying. Washington fans know what that looks like. It's just that's the thing that I think everybody was kind of looking. I think that what changed over the last 2 or 3 weeks quietly has been everybody kind of secretly picking the lines. All right, maybe this is the week. To now it was kind of resigned that, yeah, they might not win a game. And it was just whatever. I think it was just kind of a nonchalance to it. And then the tie is a big deal, but I think everybody right now is expecting them to be the first winless team with a tie to have that sort of it's just gonna I think that's what we're looking to see at the end of the season here at this point. What's more Detroit than that?
I am hopeful on Thanksgiving Day. I think we could beat the Bears at home.
I actually think so too. Do you think Jared Goff is the starter? Yes or no?
I feel like David Blau is our backup. Shout out Purdue. I think he went to Purdue. Yeah, I think Jared Goff is going to be your starter this whole year. I mean, you kind of might as well.
No, I don't think. In what world is there a might as well? You don't have a win. It's been 9 weeks. You may as well. You're already losing. You may as well just give it to some other guy that you're willing to throw the ball with.
Yeah,
what do you have?
It's not
80 yards? 5 quarters. The entire overtime as well.
Yeah, no, he had 110 or something. He's bad. He's bad.
He's bad.
He's winless without Sean McVay.
That is true. Oh my God. That is true. So, I mean, it speaks to the level of coach Sean McVay is. Now, I know they're going through their struggles right now, 2-game losing streak in LA with Matt Stafford. But they're going to be fine. I think everyone knows they're going to be fine. My God, Sean McVay is a great coach. He left Washington. Why don't we, any final thoughts, Matt, any final barrels that you have for any of us? Came in hot.
No, it was just across the entire sports spectrum, a successful weekend.
And congratulations to you. Congratulations to you, Matt.
Thank you.
Well, we talked about Sean McVay. We've talked about the Detroit Lions, talked about the Washington football team and knowing what dejection feels like, seeing it on the field. We did not see any of that this past Sunday against the defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both teams off a bye. Tom Brady, the GOAT, on the other side against Taylor Heinicke, round 2, this time the regular season. And wouldn't you know it, the Washington football team pulled it out 29-19, having the longest drive until the 49ers game, the longest drive of the NFL season, 10 minutes, 26 seconds to ice the game. Antonio Gibson with 2 rushing touchdowns, 24 carries, 64 yards, and 2. Unbelievable performance. KDot, want to begin with you. Walk me through that emotional roller coaster that you went through on Sunday. I know you did.
It was fucking amazing. That was the thing, was that I did not believe that we were going to pull this game out, as anybody that watches our preview shows thought. I thought this was going to be an absolute trashing. But early on in the game, you could tell things just weren't normal, right? When they started out, Tampa Bay doesn't defer the ball. They receive the ball, and they go 3 and out. And it was this doesn't happen to this team. I thought this would have marched down the field and scored points. It was okay, this is fucking weird. And it was just thing after thing. Then the first interception happens. The second interception happens. Then we're scoring. Now it's all right, we're only scoring field goals. So it's it's just a matter of time. You got 2 field goals. Tom's just going to drive them. Hold on. We got the ball again? What the fuck is happening right now? So, I mean, as you can see, this looks like I'm wearing a hoodie. It's not. It's a robe. I joined a monastery. Like I said, we're in the end times. Because this game didn't make any fucking sense, right? This is what this game was like a microcosm of the league this year. It don't make no fucking sense, right? It just doesn't. There's a lot of shit that just hasn't been working. And that's the thing that I've been talking to Washington fans over the last 2 days about, is that it's good. You're riding on high. We beat Tampa Bay, especially before the bye. We were just looking at a team that looked like they were giving up, right? There are certain dudes that, William Jackson, while he had a couple bonehead moves in this game, had probably his best game yet. And then come to find out, he's been hurt the last 2 weeks, which is why he hasn't necessarily been playing at his top level. So it was all right, that's good. I still love seeing Landon Collins. There's just things that look like, all right, if you want to buy into this team, there's upside. We did this without Montez and basically without Chase Young. That's fucking huge. When you got, Shakatoni, looks like he's stepping in.
Penn State guy.
But there we go. It's just, you want to do the Washington football team fan thing and say, oh shit, last year we wanted to run right around this time. How about we do it again? We got 5 more divisional games left, right? But the only thing I'll say is that I'm taking this victory, I'm celebrating this victory, and I also will admit this victory is not necessarily indicative of anything. I don't know what the fuck it means. I just don't know. I have no idea what this win means at all. Like, there's nothing that I can look at this and be like, all right, that's the track record going forward. I don't know if, like what you said on our preview show, we just see Tampa Bay and we play lights out. Maybe that's just a team that we are going to be there with nonstop. Carolina next week still scares the shit out of me. And one would think, all right, you beat Tampa Bay, all right, Carolina, we'll be able to do that. They beat the shit out of who they play. Like, it's where they played the Arizona. Like, come on, dog. Like, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just happy.
Yeah. No, listen. I had to look it up because terrified, but I'm thrilled. So
I mean, that's the life of a Washington fan, right? Like, all right, Detroit are over there, who as long as the world's not crumbling down, we get to celebrate shit. I'm just saying.
We understand when we're not good. Trust me, we'll be on top soon.
Detroit fans are great at expectation setting. I think that's what they are really good.
There are none.
Exactly.
Right now, yes. First of all, I'm a Michigan football fan. You want to talk about expectations? We can talk expectations. All right. But secondly, right now our teams are rebuilding. All right. So you kind of take everything in stride and have fun with it. That's how you guys should be handling instead of getting all mad at every game.
We're not mad at this game. We're not mad at all. He was just saying that he's worried about the next game already because it's not indicative, which is right, by the way. And so, KDot, when you initially led what you were saying by saying Tom Brady and co went 3 and out, it reminded me I needed to look up the third down efficiency. They went 4 of 10, Tampa Bay, in third down, which actually is like half decent by NFL standards, by average standards. But for our Washington football team, which on average gave up 56% of third downs, easily a league worst. This was tremendous progress. That is now 3 straight weeks that the defense has played well. Okay, and that goes back to Denver just before the bye, holding them to 17 points, now holding Tampa Bay to 19 points. And you sort of knew it was crazy when Taylor Heinicke, what a dime to DeAndre Carter on 3rd and 6. Okay, we don't typically convert third downs. And then to have that long a drive to ice the game, Ron Rivera making the perfect call. I cannot believe I saw some people on Twitter say that we should kick a field goal with that little time left because that's just giving the ball back to Brady. Up 7, yes, but you're then gifting them 25 to 30 yards on a return, also risking a return. Versus if you didn't get it, then they're at the 1 with about 30 seconds left, and they still need a touchdown with no timeouts. So it was the perfect call from Ron Rivera, and I'm really glad he made it. I'm glad we converted to ice the game, and we basically covered the spread that Tampa Bay had on us. I just cannot believe, even I can't believe how crazy it was. I said that we would beat them in the Washington football team preview show last week. I said it was going to be crazy. It was going to be weird. No one knew what happened. I think that all hit because there were some crazy, crazy plays. I did not expect a double-digit win, though.
No, it's about that call. I think I was on the fence about whether or not to kick the field goal, to be completely honest. I'm really glad he didn't. Because that drive, I mean, like, you don't want to necessarily extrapolate and say that, all right, we're going to make a run now, guys. Because I think, like my Detroit loser says, we got to temper expectations. So there's a certain element of that, right? But when you see a drive like that, it feels like that's usually a moment for a team that they look back on, or this is the moment you made the move, right? Like this, if I'm looking historically in the league, you don't have something like that happen unless you know, all right, this is going to be something and I think Ron Rivera said it, or I heard somebody say it. Tampa Bay knew we were going to run the ball. They have a good run defense. Like where they've been injured is in the secondary. They have a good front 7. We ran it down their goddamn throat. We did whatever it is that we had to do to get the ball moving, and they couldn't do anything. You could just see the amount of momentum that we have. And the MVP of this game, Chase fucking Young being on the sideline with the crutches on, man. You can see the camera kept going back. Brandon Sheriff is going over to him. This guy's going over to him. Like, it's just the energy level. Then you hear that he gave the speech at halftime to the guys on defense being like, yo, go out there and let's finish this fucking game. This, to me, feels like a defining moment. I don't want it. I want it to be. I don't want to believe necessarily to have the expectations going forward, but that drive was special. It was fucking special. And to see Tom Brady, who I love still, try to wrap up that fucking press conference and get the fuck out of Dodge, dog, come on. Like that was just, we beat their asses.
We did. It was a beautiful thing. And by the way, I want to switch this to Cam Newton in just a moment, because if Cam did what Tom Brady did, where he tries to leave after 50 seconds, you're hearing this nonstop. You are hearing this nonstop. But I needed to ask, bigger result. Washington beating Tampa Bay, Detroit tying Pittsburgh. What was the bigger result?
I mean, this is such a sad conversation, but it depends. It depends how you look at it. I mean, it's not a win. It's not a win, and because it's not a win, I'm not going to say it's a huge result for the Lions. All right, but you have to admit, it depends in where the season goes. So I would say Washington. Detroit season's over. We know what's going to happen. We're just trying to avoid some sort of infamy. But in reality, you guys can still go 3-14.
True. So you're slightly giving the edge to Washington here, but it's close.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah.
No, I disagree. It's Detroit. I mean, I can hear it. Can you hear the sound of the Ford plants opening back up? Can you hear the sounds of the industry coming back into the city? This is the beginning. Matt. It's great, man. Like, you guys start with the tie. The city's going to change, bro. The city's going to change. I have faith in you guys, man. You're going to be known for more than 8 Mile and fucking Little Caesars Detroit-style pan pizzas. Soon enough. You guys are going to be able to do this. It starts today.
First of all, the biggest haters come people that have never been there, okay? So
he has maintained this whole time.
Ford's doing very well. Okay, so the cars are doing very well. They've invested very well in the EV market. Have you seen the new Mustang? Anyways,
it's not a goddamn Mustang. It's a fucking
this needs to be a weekly segment, by the way, where we just do Detroit sports, Michigan sports, Detroit sports, and then Washington.
Hey, you can't rain on my parade. All right.
No, it was
that's the thing. We know.
Sports weekend.
You came in here like, what happens if Detroit wins the Super Bowl? They're just gonna blow the city up, ain't they?
Well, Matt won't care.
I'm not a big Lions guy.
Yeah, Matt won't care. Now, if
Michigan goes
football, there it is.
Yes.
Oh, if y'all win a championship with Jim Harbaugh, I'll burn something down for you.
Oh, that'd be great. Or I mean, in basketball. Oh, shout out, dude! Michigan basketball. They played in DC.
Top 5, yeah.
First game of Coaches versus Racism. It's a cool event that's being put on. It's kind of modeled after the Coaches versus Cancer. And very first game was Michigan playing in DC against Prairie. Oh boy, this is bad.
Not Prairie View. I don't know. I didn't follow. I just know they're top 5, right? Is it Michigan a top 5?
We're number 4 now. Yeah, Prairie View. Beat them 77-49. But I think it's going to go on every year. I think it's going to be more than just one game. So yeah.
Dope.
This is the inaugural one.
Yeah. Hey, that's awesome.
Shout out Michigan. Shout out Juwan Howard.
I'm also just so glad college basketball's back. Now, my Georgetown Hoya is very young. We have, 5-6 freshmen. We have a transfer. We lost to Dartmouth. Okay, I'm just going to put that out there. We did. Not a great look, but Dartmouth shot 42% from 3 and took 38 threes. So it was just one of those games where Dartmouth hit. There's also a guy named Ryan Cornish. And if you look at that kid's face, yeah, I'm stereotyping. No way you think he's a hooper. That kid can hoop. I do wish he was a Georgetown Hoya. That guy was unbelievable. Ginger assassin. He was incredible. From the area. He had plenty of family watching the game, and he was lighting it up. I think he's a freshman for Dartmouth, too. It was a pretty fun game. It was back and forth, and this is the most athletic Georgetown team we've had in a very, very long time. Ewing finally got his guys. It's just a very, very young team. There are going to be a lot of growing pains, but I'm still so excited for this season. And maybe Michigan gets that natty this year. Who knows?
We'll see. Yeah, I'm excited. Good team. We're relatively young too, but still got Hunter Dickinson back. That'll be big. But hang on, before we leave Washington football team, and I know you said that this win doesn't mean much, and so I think maybe your season outlook isn't changing much from say 2-3 weeks ago, but with the Chase Young news that he's done for the year, correct?
Correct.
So with that news, where are you guys at on Taylor Heinicke? Still just not sure? This could have been a flash in the pan.
I think I'm sure. I think and I'm being honest, obviously. He is, I think, a very, very good backup. I think he's a guy that can come in, win a few games. Do you know this breaks my heart?
I thought you were going to say, I'm going to be honest with you.
You thought I was going to flip it.
I think he's the best player of all time.
I was thinking about that for half a second. Be like, I need to be honest with you. He is still the second coming. But I do think he is probably the best backup in the NFL. I can't think of any better, honestly, because who can just beat Tom Brady? Like, whenever he sees Tom, fuck it, he's going to ball out. Like, who does that? Who does that? He has it in him. He clearly has it in him. It's just the consistency. Now, if he goes on to go on a little run here and ends up playing out of his mind, then I think you reevaluate, because this quarterback class supposedly isn't great. You never know until, they're actually in the league. But I don't know. You can reevaluate. As of right now, amazing backup quarterback. But he has the opportunity. We talked about it again on the previous show. He has the opportunity to play himself into a lot of money here. And so let's see what he can do moving forward. KDot, your thoughts?
I'm higher on him still than you are now, I think. I think Taylor, to me, it's all about, and we've said it time and time again, it's all about how much Ron Rivera and Scott Turner are fucking him up, in my opinion, honestly. Because the thing is that I'm looking at him and I'm saying the floor to me is a 8-year backup. And that's a fucking great floor.
It is a great floor.
Right? That's a great fucking floor. And in my thought process, if you got Ryan Fitzpatrick, who the injury is looking at, they're saying it's taking longer for him to get better, he's not coming back this year. I doubt we're going to pay Ryan Fitzpatrick any more money. I think this is an opportunity for Taylor Heinicke to potentially look at, I can be the starter for Washington another year. I think that's what he's looking at. And that's the thing is, like, if the defense plays at their talent level, when you have a Taylor quarterback, or even if he makes a mistake, the defense can get you the ball back, or at least get you in good field position. It's a different story than if the defense is a fucking sieve, the way it has been early on in this season. So I think that that's one of those things where you have the quarterback position can look a lot better or a lot worse depending on what other guys on the team are doing, right? So Taylor, to me, as long as he plays as loose as they allowed him to play in the Tampa game, to get in the rhythms and to do things that he's best at, that DeAndre Carter fucking throw, man, that was fucking dope. And, like, just let the top off sometimes, or let Terry go out there and fucking make moves. Like, just go play. If he can do that, I mean, I wouldn't say it's crazy to think he's a starter for the next year or two in Washington, which to me is huge.
I could see him being the starter for one more year, just because we're looking at sort of a bridge year or something like that. I think he's done enough to show, right? And like you said, it's huge when the defense plays well. And I will also say this. If we go into Carolina and Cam Newton's the starter and we win, I'm all the way back in on Taylor Heinicke as the second coming, because that place, here's a quick preview. I'm terrified of that matchup. It is totally different than what we were talking about with Tom Brady. He sits there. He's, going to try and pick you apart, but he was missing weapons. Godwin was playing hurt. Cam Newton, and this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Did you guys feel that energy? I don't know if you had the chance to see the highlights of the Panthers-Cardinals game where you heard the "I'm back." Holy shit.
Did you hear what Taylor said?
Yeah, he's the god of Charlotte.
The god of Charlotte, yeah.
And he's right. I mean, there were Panthers fans crying after that first touchdown. Like, it's there. It's on social media. Everyone was like, oh, my God, I'm, like, back in. They had lost fans, and now the fans are back. And that was in Arizona. Yes, they had Colt McCoy, but that same team beat San Francisco, who looked so dominant against the LA Rams. That game was over after 5 minutes.
I will say this.
The first 5 minutes, it was over.
The best component of that Carolina team is CMC in the backfield. And I'm sorry, regardless of who it is you've put up against this Washington defense, one thing that hasn't beat this year is a running back. They just haven't. We haven't let running backs beat us over the course of the season so far. Now, I know that he's a different animal, but I'm just saying, if I'm looking at the trajectory of this team right now, it makes it kind of easy to get excited about. If you're looking at the best component of that team is Christian McCaffrey. Cam Newton had high energy, but it wasn't like he was out there slinging that fucking ball last week. They got in the first team reps this week going into it. Last sample sizes that we have of Cam Newton have not been good. I'm a Cam Newton defender, but they have not been good. But if you look at this game, if we are able to manage a win, we've got 5 division games left. 5. Like, that's a lot of fucking division games left, not knowing what's going on with this team. You got a New York team that we've already beat once, looks like we can beat them again, a Philadelphia team that you never know who fucking showing up at any given day, and then a Dallas team that we always usually play hard. I'm just saying, this team right now, if they actually make a run, they're primed up. The murderer's row part of the schedule is over.
I think you're looking at the wrong team making a run. Matt, go ahead.
Are you talking about the Lions?
I'm talking.
No, I mean, so Canadian sounds like that win. Even though you're saying just one, you're looking ahead and you're getting back on board a little bit. And if they win here, you're full on.
No. I'm saying the possibility exists, and it's nutty. I'm saying the possibility exists, and it's nutty. To think that, like, if you look 3 weeks ago and how Taylor was playing, the fact that people started going, God damn, when is Fitzpatrick going to be back? Like, that was the thought process. And the defense was like, what the fuck? You can look at one game in the Tampa Bay game and saying that if things are like, this could be a really defining moment. We're in a really weird position right now, the way the season lines up. It's just weird. It's just like, if you're writing a story, the story would include this, and it looks like we're going on a run. Because, I mean, if you look at any other season that we've made the playoffs in the last, since Dan Snyder's been fucking owner, we've made runs. You look at last year, a run. We were 2-7, make a run. You look at the Sean Taylor 07 year, 5 in a row. What was it, 7 in a row? Then the 05 year, 5 in a row, we don't go. Like, I'm just saying, there's a lot of times when you look at the Washington team historically, we do that.
KDot, you know how high I was, and I was excited about, beating Tampa Bay, and even said, I think, like, you could feel it, like something weird may happen here because Tampa Bay's so freaking injured. I'm a big believer in energy, and especially in football. It is an emotionally charged sport. When he took his helmet off and yelled, I'm back, fuck the 15-yard penalty, he ended the game right there. The moment he ran in, and you saw the rest of it. I mean, it was done. I've never seen NFL. I watched the highlights. They didn't even show the Cardinals touchdown. Like, they were like, that's not even a highlight. It just isn't. That's how dominant Carolina is. They have a very good defense. They've worked on it for 2+ years now. CMC, yes, we are good against running backs. He is the best, if not one of the best. And here's the biggest thing. Again, and I have these notes because we've talked about this. Last season, here are the quarterbacks we beat. Carson Wentz, Andy Dalton twice, Ben DiNucci one of those times in reserve, Ryan Finley, Ben Roethlisberger, Nick Mullins, Nate Sudfeld. None of those guys can run. None of them. Cam, if he holds it out there and then pulls it, we saw what Daniel Jones did to this defense. Then we got Jalen Hurts twice, and we should have lost in that last regular season game last season had they not pulled him to evaluate Nate Sudfeld.
Is Cam running like in the middle of the field? Or are you just talking about in goal line packages?
No, he runs in the middle of the field too. They're going to have him doing all sorts of stuff as he's learning the offense. They had him pull one at around the 35-yard line, and he ran for 8-9 yards.
All right. Well, I
the nice pull on the touchdown.
I don't want to disrupt you guys' preview show. So, I'll you guys.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm just Cam Newton being a more national topic than just the preview in general. I'm saying the Panthers are actually set up to make a run because they play Miami after us. And then I think do they play the Jets? Like, they do have an opportunity to go on a little bit of a run here. And then they get to play Tampa Bay twice in a tight division now, and they get to play the Saints. So Carolina is actually, assuming Cam can figure out the playbook, I think him being back in Carolina, totally different beast and quarterback than what you saw in New England. It's different. He's home.
Yeah, but he was home and got kicked off the fucking team last time. I'm just saying that, like, at the end of the day, I get where you're going with it. I'm just saying that the Cam Newton reunion tour, where he's got the promo videos before the game to getting everybody fucking hyped, that he comes in there on a small pitch count and does what he needs to do in this game, is entirely different than, hey, guy, you're starting. We need you to run the full offense and do things. He hasn't shown recently that he's capable of doing that at a high level. I just think we'll talk about it on the preview show. I'm just saying that the same way that you can give the energy for Cam Newton and what it is that happened there, I put that Washington fucking sideline with Chase Young. I'm actually really – I want to know what Chase Young is going to be doing as far as if they're going to allow him on the sideline for a lot of these games, at least the home games. I doubt they'll let him travel, but at least for the home games, be on the sideline because I think he's a different breaker. The energy level at which you saw with this team, especially coming after that drive and after what it is you saw, that to me is one of those things. You got two energies kind of colliding. And my thing is that if you're relying solely on Cam Newton for that, it's got a shelf life, man. And he was gone at one point. They thought they had another guy. That didn't fucking work out. They got Sam Darnold back there. I thought Sam Darnold looked good early. Then he looks like one of the worst goddamn quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. Like, it's just, I don't know.
Dude, his MVP season, okay, we'll wrap this up, but his MVP season, his number one receiver is Ted Ginn Jr. He's now got DJ Moore. He's got Robbie Anderson. He's got CMC. This is the best set of weapons he's ever been around. Terrace Marshall Jr. can play. They drafted him this year, rookie. And this game is in Carolina. It's his first game back. Assuming he starts, we talked about Chase not traveling. He won't be there, most probably. So, I mean, and it's against Ron Rivera. The crowd's going to be electric. So even if the shelf life's a week, I'm terrified of this game. Anyway, that was great. That's the NFL as a whole now. The Washington Spirit.
Can I sidebar before we go into Spirit?
Yes.
So my phone's going off. So if you see as you're talking about the Washington Spirit that I'm going to be on my phone, it is now my turn to purchase my Packers stock, where I will now be a part owner of the Green Bay Packers. Fuck it. I'm dropping a 300 because I'm a team owner now. So if you see me focus on it, I only got a 10-minute span because I've been online all goddamn day. Yes. I just got the alert. It's here.
You're a proud owner?
It's time to do it. I'm about to be an owner of the Green Bay Packers. We'll do this on the pod while you talk about the Spirit. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's fantastic.
Fuck the Packers. He's owner of
He's
my.
going to sabotage them. That's what he's doing. We're getting pressed.
I am going to the shareholder meeting. I am absolutely going to the shareholder meeting.
Can't wait to see what trades you put together for us. Hey,
did you know that the league can fine you now?
Yes.
Up to 50K.
Oh yeah, did you read that, by the way, KDot? If you talk shit about other teams as an owner of this stock, they can fine you.
I do 2 podcasts about sports.
Well,
better think about that.
Better get those views up.
Yeah. Maybe down. Stop watching right now.
I've been waiting all day. It's my turn. What y'all doing to me?
Do you?
God damn it.
KDot is currently in limbo as to whether he's going to be a proud owner of an NFL team or not.
You will be an owner. Will he be proud? TBD.
TBD. We could do an over-under on how long he gets to keep the stock for before he gets fined. All right, let's talk about the NWSL. The Washington Spirit, just, again, amazing time in DC sports. The Washington Spirit have been through so much, and they are actually playing in the final on Saturday at 12 p.m. on CBS. They beat the OL Reign. We have Megan Rapinoe and Rose Lavelle, household names from the U.S. women's national team. We went over there and won. Our 2 first-round picks from the last 2 seasons, Ashley Sanchez with the winner, and the future GOAT of U.S. soccer herself, Trinity Rodman, getting the goals. Guys, this team, the resilience has been unbelievable. They lost their coach due to verbal assault allegations. He is now gone. The owner is in a power struggle with another minority owner, and that's been going on this whole time. They put in an interim coach who knows the game and, is figuring things out. He's gone on a tear with these guys. We even had COVID forfeits. There were all sorts of leaks happening about this team, and here we are in the final. And we haven't lost in 10, 11 games since those COVID forfeits. The energy around this team, we talk about energy with Cam, the energy around this team is amazing right now. We have U.S. women's national team stars Emily Sonnet and Kelly O'Hara. The captain is Andy Sullivan. I feel like I have to introduce the team to you guys because it's going to be worth the watch on Saturday. Matt, you'll find this interesting. Liverpool-Arsenal, Saturday, 12:30 p.m. I'm actually going to be recording that game and watching the Spirit play the Chicago Red Stars live. And then, so I'll be avoiding my phone for a little bit because
that is an interesting choice. Yeah, but I support your choice.
Yeah, so I'll have to hold up there. I love it. Oh man! But guys, it's a huge Arsenal game, but it's gonna be a great game. And I hope you guys choose to watch it because this team has really been through a lot. And it's a championship opportunity for DC. It's a championship opportunity for DC. Let's get a fucking parade. It'll be a great time. Mayor Muriel Bowser tweeted about it. Just get hyped for it. That's all I'm asking. At the very least, be like, Spirit in the final. Just keep saying it. Keep saying it. It's going to be awesome. Looking forward to it.
I mean, shit. I know that I've previewed this with you before, but I started watching Ted Lasso. I'm almost done with the second season, and I'm starting to get into soccer. Not to mention, I've downloaded a game on my phone where I'm like playing soccer, and I'm starting to realize, oh, it's a little more than just kicking the ball around. So it's like I'm starting to understand a little bit about how soccer works. In my mailbox right now is FIFA 22. It's the first FIFA game I've ever played. So like I do with Formula One, Netflix or just streaming channels have an ability to just get me involved in shit. So if you want me involved in your sport, just create a fucking show. I guess I'm going to be all in.
Well, yeah, I mean, you talk about F1, Formula One Drive to Survive as well. I mean, all of a sudden you're into that. So you're right. Yep. It definitely
crazy races last week.
Yes.
Crazy race.
Fucking Hamilton. God damn it, man.
It needed it.
Yeah. Big time.
Wait, what? Okay, so walk me through this because I don't know about the races. What happened in F1? Sounds like Lewis Hamilton won.
Yeah, so him and Verstappen are very, very much in this hunt for the championship this year. And before the race, I don't even know exactly what happened. Matt might know more than I do as far as there were some penalties that came down where Hamilton had to back up a bunch of positions in qualifying, but he had a hell of a qualifying run. And then in the race itself moved from 10 to 1, which was insane. Like he drove his fucking ass off. Was it 10 to 1? I think it was somewhere around there.
I thought he started at the back of the grid, no? I thought he started
I think qualifying he started at 20. I don't think he started the race.
Yeah, but it was essentially like his best final day, made up all the spots, and then and especially because he tried to overtake Max once. Max, pretty dirty move, pushed him off the track. Hamilton came back and then just crushed him. Just hearing the mics over it, some drama. There's always just drama, right? Because it's like the penalties are just semi-arbitrary. I'm still a novice to this sport, so it just seems like sometimes the penalties, to me, it looked like a clear penalty by Max, but like not even, like nothing followed on. But Hamilton just a beast of a run. Now he's only 14 points back, so should go down to the wire. And Constructors' Cup is pretty tight too, right?
I believe so.
It's Mercedes by 11 right now. So
yep.
Yeah,
how many races are left in this season?
I think 3.
It's 2 or 3.
Yeah. Okay, so down to the wire here. Okay.
Yeah, like Hamilton needed to win.
Now, quick question. So, do they care? Like, obviously, the individual stuff would be incredibly important, but like you're also representing a team. What is more important, the team winning or the individual?
And to whom?
So. Yeah. Well, okay. I guess it's a fair question.
I would argue the individual.
To the fan.
If the individual is more important. So, like, I'm a McLaren guy. I am a full-blown McLaren guy, right? Even McLaren, I have my 2 favorite. I have one driver that I like just a little bit more than the other driver, but I'm still rooting for the team overall, right? But you usually pick a driver and then go from there because even on a team, you still, even as a fan, have a 1A and 1B. Doesn't fucking matter. Everybody knows there's a first banana, second banana.
Yeah, and McLaren's a weird team where they're both seem pretty tight with each other. Neither are really vying for a championship right now.
Yep.
Lando's kind of the clear up and comer. Danny's.
So am I picking a driver and then I'm like, well, he drives Mercedes as an example, therefore I'm now Team Mercedes?
I think that's a common approach.
Okay. Pretty much. I mean, Drive to Survive made it easier to jockey and try to figure out, all right, what team overall can I really, really root for? It was made important trying to choose the driver and choose everything. I'm a Lando guy, and Daniel is the man. He's just hilarious. He's one of the funniest motherfuckers in the history of Formula One. He's just great to follow, great on social media, just hilarious fucking dude. So it just makes it easy. And the fact that they're so buddy makes it extremely even more easy, where you're looking at like Mercedes and it's, all right, I might be a Hamilton guy, but Bottas does not get along with Hamilton. It works. They don't like each other.
No teammates really get on with him at this point in his career.
Yeah,
he's pretty ruthless
He's ruthless as shit
to win himself.
Yeah, no, he's ruthless,
and it's kind of fair at this point.
I mean, I root for him. He's a big Arsenal guy. So,
Yeah.
naturally,
No,
I
he's
root for
great.
Lewis Hamilton.
I root for him over Max for sure. I don't something about Max rubbing me the wrong way.
It's going to get really interesting next year because Hamilton has a new partner
Yeah.
in crime, and that motherfucker is legit.
Russell.
So, yeah, George Russell, he's a fucking driver, man. It's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, but I think Hamilton probably only has two years left.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that they're gonna. I don't know if they say, all right, Hamilton's our guy. We're just gonna ride this out the next season as him as top dog, or are they gonna say, all right, we want a passing of the torch to George Russell before Hamilton gets out of the door. Hamilton ain't going for that.
Well, Hamilton's not going to be like retiring or anything like that, right? So he's basically a free agent and could drive for anybody at that point.
No,
he might
retire. Yeah.
Oh, he is. Oh,
I mean,
how old is he?
He's not young.
He's in his 30s. Yeah.
Okay.
He's in his 30s. Plus, he's a lot. Hamilton outside of racing has a lot of things going on.
Yeah, big fashion.
Oh,
guy.
hey, let's tell. What was the scenario, Matt? This is for you because I don't think KDot heard it. What was the scenario that Spencer ran by us with the cop?
Oh my God, this was insane.
Go ahead.
Insane. The dumbest thing I probably heard this year. He thought that F1 drivers are just good at driving their car, right? He didn't think that they're just like good, phenomenal state-of-the-art athletes at all. So he thought that a California state trooper would be faster in a California state trooper car on like the 5 highway in California. That was what he
knowledge
thought.
of the roads and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, he's like on a California. If it was California highway, and they're in the state trooper car, the state trooper car would be faster. They're very good. He's like they trained for like 3 weeks.
he's controlling the variables.
That's
like, all right.
dumb.
And we're like,
Oh, yeah.
all right. We're like, he's like, I'll call my dad. Who's like a California cop, and his dad was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. They would crush us.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are under the misnomer that in order to be a Formula One driver, you just basically need money or luck or anything. No. You have to earn your license to be in Formula One. You've been racing your entire career. Racing's not something you wake up at 22 years old and be like, I'm going to be a race car driver. These motherfuckers have been go-kart racing ever since they could walk. They've been racing every type of car they could get their goddamn hands on. Not to mention every Formula One driver, the amount of tickets that they have in every European country is insane. Hamilton's lost his license more than once, okay? It's been a problem.
I mean, these cats experience no fear whatsoever. It's unbelievable. They're just like, oh, let's just see how fast this thing goes. And they just have, and
they all live in Monaco. Like, what life is this? Just try.
Yeah, it is a crazy life.
Well, you know who else has no fear? Your Washington Spirit. That's right. 12 p.m. Saturday, bringing it all back on CBS against the Chicago Red Stars. Definitely tune in. I think it's going to be a really fun game, and you could see the Washington Spirit win for, I believe, the first time ever. First time they're in a final since 2016. So it should be a blast. And that pretty much concludes the show. This is District Divided. Thank you guys for listening. Got some F1 talk in there as well. I'm Amit. That's my co-host, Matt Regan, and KDot. It's great to see you all. And we will see you next week, Wednesday at 3 p.m., as we always do. Have a great week, and we'll see you for the Washington Football Team Preview Show. We'll talk Cam Newton.